tuned into the Carlema channel. Today we are going to ask American citizens about the secession.
Wait a minute, not everyone's gonna know what that is. You better give us some background information.
Okay, so in the election of 1858, Republicans did really well. This caused the South to worry because the whole slavery issue. The Republicans' economic program basically favors the North. The North throws down a tariff which angers the South. The South wants to secede for many reasons. Now let's see if people know their history. What do you know about John Brown? What do you know about John Brown?
Nothing.
Okay.
Who was that? Wait, here, pause for a second.
What do you know about John Brown?
He was crazy and it's so weird.
In your opinion, do you think John Brown was crazy?
John Brown? Yeah, he was real crazy.
In your opinion, do you think John Brown was crazy?
Yeah, he was pretty lit. That guy was a savage, yeah.
What happened at Harper's Ferry?
John Brown teamed up with the slaves to fight the South.
So basically, John Brown was extremely against slavery. He was born on May 9th, 1800 in Torrington, Connecticut. Brown also took part in the Underground Railroad, gave land to free African Americans, and created the League of Gileadites. This guy was so against slavery, him and his men killed 5 pro-slavery settlers at the Potawatomi Creek in 1856. So what happened at Harper's Ferry? Well, let me tell you. On October 16th of 1859, he led a group of 21 men on a raid of the Federal Armory, which is basically a storage unit for weapons, of Harper's Ferry in Virginia. His goal was to inspire resistance to slavery. Unfortunately for Brown, his forces eventually got defeated by Robert E. Lee's forces. Brown was then executed on December 2nd of 1859. So do you think John Brown was crazy?
I don't know, that's actually a pretty tough question, but I would say he's crazy for killing people, and he was definitely insane for his...
So what triggered the South to leave the Union?
Lincoln's election to the presidency.
So why was Lincoln able to win the election of 1860?
Why was he able to do that?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't need the South. He could win all the northern states and be elected. That's why he managed to win.
So what did the South hate about Lincoln?
Well, he was he was against the spread of slavery into the new territories. He wasn't against slavery per se, but he was against its expansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did the South hate about Lincoln?
That's gonna be so wrong. That he was opposed to slavery.
Yeah. What do you know about President Lincoln?
President Lincoln, well, he's a very honest man, hence his name, Honest Abe. He's the 16th president overall. He's also strangely tall for his time period. Had a tremendous beard. Let's see. He was assassinated, which was unfortunate. What else? He also, obviously, with the Emancipation Proclamation, freed the slaves and all that stuff. Gave the Gettysburg Address. Was obviously a figurehead during the Civil War. Not from a fighting standpoint, but just in general, being in charge of the country at that time, not an easy task. And I'm pretty sure that's about it.
When Lincoln won the election of 1860, it triggered the South to leave the Union. Well, you're probably asking yourself how he won the election. He was able to win because the Democratic Party was split at the convention and the South walks out. The South wasn't a big fan of Lincoln because he appeals to the economic self-interests of the Northerners and the Westerners. He imposes a tariff and does not want to expand slavery. This was enough to make the South secede. When Lincoln won the election of 1860, it triggered the South to leave the Union. Well, you're probably asking yourself how he won the election. He was able to win because the Democratic Party was split at the convention and the South walks out. The South wasn't a big fan of Lincoln because he appeals to economic self-interests of the Northerners and the Westerners, and he imposes a tariff and does not want to expand slavery. This was enough to make the South secede. He was the 16th President of the United States. He was born on February 12th in 1809 in Kentucky. He was assassinated in April 15th, 1865 by John Wilkes Booth.
Wow, I can't even imagine being president during the Civil War.
Yeah. What was the first state to secede? What state seceded from the Union?
Virginia? Like the South?
Who was the president of the Confederacy?
John Wilkes Booth.
The first state to secede the Union was South Carolina in December 1860. 6 weeks later, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas seceded too. Then when Fort Sumter happened, they were joined by Arkansas, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. Virginia was bad for the Union to lose because it had a high population and Robert E. Lee. Their constitution was similar, but obviously did not prohibit slavery. The president of the Confederacy was Jefferson Davis.
That's it for today's show. Thanks to all of our participants. See you next time on the Forever Channel.
Bye!